Kia ora everyone. Well, hopefully you have just downloaded the Ruggerblogger 2015 app, and if you're here and you downloaded it, it's because not only are you perhaps an All Blacks fan, but you could be a fan of rugby in general, because if your team has played the All Blacks in the last 4 years, since the beginning of Rugby World Cup 2011, it's in here. So download it, open the app, and this is what we've got. Test match statistics for every New Zealand All Blacks Rugby Union Test match from Rugby World Cup 2011 to the end of last year's, that's 2014's Northern Hemisphere Tour. Quick guide to the navigation in this app. If you touch the top or the bottom of the screen, this will come up. And hit it again. Top left, you've got this little icon for contents. You can scroll up and down on that. It's one way of navigating through. If you hit any of those, it will take you off to that section. Tap any of those icons or the horizontal text there. On the top right, you have these vertical lines. This is how you bring up this horizontal overview of the contents of the entire thing. And very quickly, this is what's inside it. We scroll through it. It's contents and introductory stage. Then we get to each year. You've got 2014 through to 2013. These are all interactive, 2014 and 2013. As I said, every test match is in there. So those 2 years, and then back to some non-interactive, but the original stat sheets we did for the blog for 2012 and through to the Rugby World Cup 2011. Now, each year includes the inbound tour that New Zealand hosted that year, the Rugby Championship, the deciding Bledisloe Cup match against Australia, and of course all the Northern Hemisphere Tour matches. I'm going to select one sheet here. Let's go to last year's Rugby Championship match. If you're using this horizontal view to scroll across and find whatever you want, whatever page you tap, that's going to take you to there. So let's have a look at the Rugby Championship. Main thing to remember is that once you're in the app, just follow these arrows at the bottom right of the screen. They'll tell you where to go. So if we move on down, we've got Australia versus New Zealand. Now what the hell is on these stat sheets? Well, you can scroll the team lineups. You can see the starting 15s and of course the reserves bench. On the left here, the pie charts, you've got the territory and possession and where the game was played in the territory on the field for the first half. Hit H2, you get the figures for the second half. Hit FT, and you've got the combined measures for full time. Just across to the right, you've got some performance measures here, graphs where the Aussie and New Zealand, or whatever teams they are, charted next to each other. So you've got the tackle completion, the rucks won, scrums that have won on their own feed, lineouts measured on the team's own throw, and of course the number 10 first 5/fly halves options that they've taken to the kick, run or pass. In the centre, it's a score flow. As the clock went and ran down to the 80 minutes, where was the point scored and by who? Look just to the top left of the grid and you'll see a button for territory and possession. If you tap those, you get this sort of flow of the territory and possession. So you can see as the points were scored, who was dominating that territory or that possession, or indeed were they not. And then you can simply tap the clock in the center at the top of the timeline and that will turn that off. Now, if we just go back out for a second, we can move to horizontally. Start of each year, you've got one of these maps. So if you want to know what's going on, scroll down through the section and then you've got each series comes up with a brief summary of who the opposition was, what the date was, the venue, and the score. And you can navigate to any of the games simply by touching the flags next to those scores. So you want to go to Argentina versus New Zealand in Buenos Aires, tap on the Argentinian flag there, and away you go. So that's basically it. Please download it, get into it, play with it, follow the icons and try to make it as clear as we could. Please read the instructions, but by all means, have a prod, have a play, and we've loved some feedback. It's in the iTunes store now, Ruggerblogger 2015. Thanks for all your support. Really hope you enjoy it.